Over the years, Rockstar Games has added some strange vehicles into GTA Online, and for better or for worse, they've completely changed the way Grand Theft Auto Online operates. The vehicles we're going to go over today have the perfect mix of funny, but also make you ask the question, like, why is this thing in the game again? I don't really have a perfect word to describe these vehicles, so I'm going to call this list the 10 dumbest vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online, but not necessarily in a bad way. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more stuff like this. And man, I gotta say, YouTube snitched, man. YouTube's told me that 72% of people that watch my videos aren't subbed. And if you want to see more stuff like this, there's a big DLC coming out at the end of the year, so you're not gonna want to miss out. Everything will be covered here on this channel. Alright, the first vehicle we gotta talk about, we have to talk about it, is the Zaba. What is this vehicle? What is it? It's actually based off a real life vehicle called the Sherp, and in Grand Theft Auto Online, it's classified as an all-terrain vehicle, which, I mean, it's not wrong. It can go in a lot of terrains, but it doesn't really do anything well, and it just looks really weird. Like, man, I don't know. What does this vehicle do? It can go off-road reasonably well. A really strange thing about it is it can actually go in the water. It's amphibious. And if you want to add another thing to the crazy list about this one, is you can use it as a getaway vehicle in the Diamond Casino heist. Yeah. This thing is, it's definitely dumb, which is why we've got it first on the list. Next up, we got to talk about the DeLorean, which in Grand Theft Auto Online is called the Deluxo. If you've ever watched the movie Back to the Future, you'll instantly recognize this one. And while in the movie, this vehicle acts as a time machine, in Grand Theft Auto Online, it has missiles. This was the first flying car added into Grand Theft Auto Online, and when it came out, it was the griefer's best friend. Absolutely everyone was flying around in one of these things. If you were trying to sell your cargo in an online lobby, good luck. It's not gonna happen with people flying around in these. And while this vehicle can definitely be really toxic in the wrong person's hands, in the right person's hands, it can be a lot of fun. With the Deluxo, if you're just messing around and having fun, you can have an absolute blast with this vehicle. It's also a really fun vehicle to troll people in. And even though a lot of people debate whether this type of vehicle should be in Grand Theft Auto Online, one thing we can all agree on is it's pretty dumb. You would have noticed that I said the Deluxo used to be the griefer's best friend, and that's because we've got a new kid in town over the past couple of years, and what's worse than a flying car? How about a flying motorbike? The Oppressor Mark II is ridiculous, man. I don't know where they came up with the idea for this thing. It's dumb. Ever since it was introduced into the game, Rockstar has had a really hard time finding the right balance for this thing, because it's pretty much been overpowered ever since it's come in. When it comes to an aerial vehicle, it's the most mobile. It's not necessarily the fastest, but the mobility sort of gives it an advantage over anything else, especially in the city. It's also got some of the most aggressive tracking missiles in the game, which means even if someone is doing a really good job to avoid getting hit by this vehicle, the missiles are so good at tracking that they're probably going to kill them anyway. Just like the Deluxo, in the wrong person's hands, this vehicle can get out of control. It can be really overpowered and a pain in your butt, basically. But in the right person's hands, this is actually one of the best, probably the best vehicle in the game, actually, for things like grinding money, just because of how easy it is to spawn it in next to you, get up, and go instantly. Let me know in the comments below if you're actually a fan of this vehicle. I think the community is sort of split 50-50 on whether this is a good addition to the game. So let me know in the comments. I'd really be interested to know your thoughts. The next vehicle is dumb for a completely different reason. I put the tugboat. Yes, there is a tugboat in Grand Theft Auto Online. Don't ask me why. As far as boats go, this is definitely one of the slowest. I don't really see there being like a single practical use for this thing. I don't think there has ever been a point, and I don't think there will ever be a point where I think, man, I could really use a tugboat right now. But who knows, man, maybe you're just the type of guy that wants to get away from all of the chaos, just drive out at sea and just relax, man. Relax on your tugboat, maybe go fishing, jump off the tugboat, go for a swim out in the ocean. I don't know, man. That's the only use I could see this vehicle having. This vehicle is one of the bigger memes in the game for sure. And while it's not futuristic like a lot of the other vehicles on this list, it's definitely ridiculous, and a lot of people wonder why it's in the game. Next up, we've got the ramp buggy, and this is one of my favorite vehicles in the game. This thing is so fun, dude, but it's definitely dumb at the same time. A lot of people really don't know, because not many people were playing the game back in 2013 when it came out. But the reason this vehicle even exists is because of something people used to do back in 2013. Way back in the day, that's 7 years ago, man. That makes me feel old. But 7 years ago, people used to get a cheetah and a Z-type. And because the cheetah is so low to the ground, when you drove it head on at a Z-type, the Z-type would go flying. Here's a little clip on screen right now. The game was way more simple back then, so this was actually one of the most fun things to do. And as Grand Theft Auto Online sort of started to get more crazy over the years, Rockstar added a vehicle into the game specifically for that. So that's how we got the ramp buggy. And I'm really glad we did, man, because like I said, this thing is awesome for trolling people. It's actually kind of just a really good way to make friends in the game. Like, if you drive up to someone's car and launch them halfway across the map, it seems like, no one's really gonna get angry at you. Most people are gonna drive back at you so they can get launched again. So personally, I think this is one of the cooler vehicles in the game. It's got that perfect mix of funny, but also wackiness at the same time. Next up, we've got the thruster. Now, if you thought a flying car was crazy, if you thought a flying motorbike was crazy, you're right. But if we want to go another step further, Rockstar added a jetpack to the game. And not just any jetpack, a jetpack that has missiles. I mean, if you look at this thing, I mean, tell me where the missiles go in this thing. I don't understand it, dude. This thing's crazy, man. You could definitely argue whether it's better than something like a Deluxo, but I don't really think you can argue that the Oppressor Mark II is probably a bit better than this one. But the fact that it's just a jetpack, I mean, it's a crazy one, that's for sure. Next up, we've got the Ultralight, and honestly, man, I don't even know what this is. Like, what do you classify this vehicle as? Look at it. Is it a glider? Is it a plane? I mean, it sort of acts like a plane, right? Like, it's got a blade on the back. I really don't know what to classify this thing as, man. It's pretty crazy, and it's pretty dumb. Just like every other ridiculous vehicle in GTA Online, yes, this does have weapons on it. A glider with weapons on it, dude. Oh, boy. I really haven't used this thing that much, but it is a lot of fun just to go flying around in it. You don't have much control over it. If you get really high up in the air, you're gonna get a lot of turbulence as expected. I mean, it's a glider, I think. Is it a glider? I don't know. So yeah, this one's a lot of fun. It's crazy, and it is definitely dumb. So we've gone through boats, we've gone through flying vehicles, we've gone through a ramp buggy. What else could there possibly be? How about a remote control car? Like, literally a remote control toy car. This thing's ridiculous, man. It's a lot of fun, though, and just like the ramp buggy, this thing is hilarious for trolling. To add another level of crazy to this thing, you can upgrade it so that you can detonate it and blow it up at any time, which, of course, is gonna kill someone, or you can even drop mines. I honestly don't know where Rockstar comes up with this stuff, dude. And what's crazy about this thing is you could almost justify buying it. Every single week, there's a new time trial, but there's also a new RC Bandito time trial, which means you can make money by completing a time trial every week with this thing. So it's actually a useful vehicle to have. The RC Bandito is hilarious, dude. Literally just go pick one up to mess around with people in online lobbies. It's a lot of fun, trust me. Now, you might be thinking it can't get any weirder than a remote control toy car. You're wrong. How about a remote control mini tank? Yes, that actually exists in GTA Online. And it's a lot of fun, man. Just like the RC Bandito, the Invade and Persuade mini-tank is hilarious in free roam lobbies. Not only is it hilarious, but it's actually pretty good. Like, it's a mini-tank, so it does have armor. You're also not gonna show up on the minimap while you're in it. The cops won't be able to kill you in it because it's a tank and there's no one actually inside. And on top of that, you can add some really powerful weapons to this thing. You start off with just a machine gun, but you can add a flamethrower or even a plasma cannon to this thing, dude. Personally, I think this is the right kind of mix between futuristic stuff and realism in Grand Theft Auto Online. If I were to decide, I personally wouldn't have things like the Oppressor Mark II in the game where it's really easy to go around and kill people in a flying bike. I would have much preferred if Rockstar kept the futuristic stuff in a fun way, like this with a mini tank that's not completely overpowered and you can't just chase people around the entire map, blow up their cargo, that sort of stuff. But hey, it is what it is. The Invade and Persuade tank is hilarious, and it's definitely one of the dumbest vehicles in the game. And to finish the list off, we have to talk about the Faggio. It is the biggest meme vehicle in the game since day one. There is absolutely no point that you will ever need a Faggio. I don't know why you'd want a motor scooter other than to meme around with your friends. Speaking from experience, I can tell you that if you get a full squad of moped scooter Faggios and you just drive around the city, it is hilarious. This is definitely one of the fan favorite vehicles in the game. People have memed it all across the internet. Lots of people are even asking for a Faggio Mark II. It's ridiculous, dude. They also added a Faggio mod option where you can add like 1 million mirrors to it, like you can see here. It's really dumb, I'm gonna be honest. And I think that's a pretty fitting way to end the video. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. That helps this video reach more people like you. And if I left out one of your favorite dumb vehicles in GTA Online, let me know. Comment it below. These are just 10 of my favorites. So thank you for watching. Make sure you stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Favorite color, money green. Paper. I've been on my grind since I was in the 7th grade. Had my first kid, I was only 17. Always a provider for my